So some of you want to make videos and want to start doing YouTube. I get questions from some of you about what kind of camera equipment I use, or what kind of camera equipment you should use to get started on doing YouTube videos. And before I get started with the video, everything that I talk about in this video will be in the info box below, so you go check it out. Here is my camera equipment from when I first started till now. When I first started doing video, I didn't really use my laptop camera. Instead, I got one of these. This is a Flip Mino HD, or Flip Mino HD, how you would say it. I got this for around $130 back in the day. This was one of the first cameras that was made for vlogging. I'm not sure if you can buy this anymore, but everything was built into this. All you had to do was plug this into your computer. It would download the files and everything. And this camera is so simple to use because you hit this red button and you start recording. And it's so small and compact that it fits in your pocket. I think the quality on it was only up to like 480p or something, but it was good for when it first came out, which was like 5 to 6 years ago, I believe. I will put this camera on a stack of shoe boxes like this. The second camera I used was this Nikon Coolpix S550. This is your simple point and shoot camera. I got this for a Black Friday deal back in like 2011. I believe. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But this is the upgrade from the Flip Mino because you can have extra battery packs if you need it, and you could put SD cards in here. Plus, this took photos too. But these two cameras don't compare to a DSLR. These two cameras are very simple, very simplistic, very, on the go point and shoot cameras. You could make videos for these, but you could also use your laptop camera. These are comparable to your laptop camera. And nowadays, the camera quality on your phone beats these cameras. The next camera I got was definitely a step up, and it was this camera, the Sony Alpha 5N. When I first got this camera, the technology was really new. It was the first of its kind. It was a mirrorless camera. This camera is comparable to a DSLR. When I first bought this, I got this for around $500, and it was a display model. I feel like you could get away with a lot of good deals on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, or if you just go to like the outlet store or like the store itself and ask, if you're selling a display model, you might get lucky and they are selling it. I know the full price of this at the time was around like $700 or like $600 or something, and the display model was a lot cheaper. And I called around like 5 different stores to see if they were selling it, so I got lucky. The difference between DSLRs, this camera, and these cameras is the quality and the options. The problem with point and shoots is that you don't have interchangeable lenses and you don't have a lot of options to, do what you want with like the effects and everything. But even with this camera, I felt limited. Let me tell you guys the reason why I felt limited with this camera. Although you can change out the lenses and everything, at the time, they didn't make that many E-mount lenses. And if you wanted to use a Nikon lens or if you wanted to use a Canon lens, you have to buy like an adapter for it to use other lenses. And the adapter would be like a lot of money, or it'd be a cheap one and it could break your camera. Another reason why I thought this camera was limiting was because of the screen. Check this out. You see the screen here? The screen flips this way. That's all it flips. I mean, you could pull it out and, angle it, but it's not much of a vlogging camera, if you're like trying to make a video like this. You can't see yourself. And that was one of the main grips that I have with this camera. The next camera, and the camera that I'm using now, is the Canon T5i Rebel. This by far is the best camera I have and the most common camera any YouTuber can get. The Canon Rebel Ti series, or like the line, is the go-to for all YouTubers. Any YouTuber who has a good quality, blurry background and everything, is using a Canon DSLR. Odds are they're using the Ti line. The best feature about this camera is the fact that I can see myself. And I think I got this camera for around $500 because I got a good deal on it. And after getting this camera and talking to a bunch of other YouTubers, the next thing they told me to do was get an external microphone. Make your audio better. Now, you don't have to get an external mic. You could just use your iPhone. The recording app on your iPhone is good enough. The only downside to that is that you have to export the audio from your phone and then sync it up in the editing phase, which can be a little bit tedious and you can mess it up. And the microphone that I got was this one, the Rode Video Mic Pro shotgun microphone. There's a bunch of different ones that you can get. So you can get the black and red one, you can get the circle ball looking one, and you get all these like other different extensions and everything. And this thing cost me around $200. Now you guys might be asking like, Jay, you spent so much money on your camera equipment. Is it worth it? Do I need all of this? The answer is no and yes. The reason why I'm saying no is because the videos with the most views on my channel, I shot with these cameras. They didn't have any type of options or effects to change, or external microphones. it was just a point and shoot, and I got the most views out of those videos. However, in terms of growing and, you know, bettering your quality and your content, yes, you will need an external microphone, and it just shows that you want to get better and you want to put out good quality content for your audience. The next thing that I got was better SD cards. For those of you who don't know what SD cards are, they're basically memory for your camera. So after I got all this equipment, you know, and I evolved and I did my research, I still asked myself, why does my quality not look like the other YouTubers? Why isn't the background blurry for me? Why is the background not out of focus for me? And there's a lot of terminology and a lot of knowledge about photography and videography that I've learned, and I finally came to the answer. It's the lens. When you buy a camera, it usually comes with a kit lens. The kit lens for the Rebel T5i is an 18 to 55 millimeter lens with an aperture of 3.5 to 5.6 compared to what I'm using now, a Sigma 30 millimeter f1.4 or aperture 1.4 lens. I mean, check this out, right? Watch the blurriness. All right, okay. Look how blurry the background is, right? And then I'm just gonna, look how blurry I am now. You see what I mean? And one thing I want to point out is that this camera lens is the go-to lens for most YouTubers. The problem with this lens is the fact that it's a prime lens. What a prime lens means is that it's a fixed, you know, length compared to this one, which is a Sigma 10 to 20 f3.5 millimeter lens. The camera lens that I'm using now is only 30 millimeters. Now the reason why I got this lens was because it's a wide angle lens. This lens, you'll see more of the shot. And I know Casey Neistat uses a wide angle lens for his vlogs. After getting all this equipment, there was another problem that I found out about, you know, DSLRs and, you know, making videos. And it's the fact that, you know, video cameras run on battery and battery runs out. So I have one extra battery that's charging right now and then one battery in the camera. And I feel like that's still not enough because if I ever wanted to do vlogs, so I bought more batteries. Now the Canon brand, each battery costs around like $60 for a battery. Do I really want to spend $60 on one battery when I can just spend $21 on two batteries and a charger? So these are the new batteries I got today. I got them off of Amazon for like $21 or something. If you have Prime shipping, it's free for 2 days. These are from the brand Wasabi Power. I've read reviews about them. Some say they're amazing, some say they're bad. I guess it's just luck, you know, if you get a good one or a bad one. But they do come with 2 batteries and a dual charger. So now that you've seen all my physical equipment, you're probably asking what kind of software I use, right? When I first started YouTube and I first started editing, I was editing on this MacBook, 2009 white MacBook. It wasn't even a Pro, and I was editing on this, and it did the job. Did it do it great? No. Did it do it bad? No. Did it do it okay? Yes. It did the job perfectly fine compared to, like, you know, a high end or a low end. It did the job. It got my videos out. I edited on it. It was easy. It had free editing software built into it, so I don't have to buy any more software. I used iMovie in the beginning. I think after that, I got Adobe Premiere Pro to use that to edit videos. And I learned that Adobe Premiere Pro is used by filmmakers who make movies. So after using Adobe Premiere Pro for a little bit, I then went to Final Cut Pro 10. And that's what I'm using now, and that's what I'm most comfortable with. Now you might be wondering why I just didn't stick with Adobe or, you know, iMovie. Why did you go with Final Cut Pro? It's about preference. I know some YouTubers who just use iMovie. And I know some YouTubers who use Adobe Premiere, and I know some YouTubers who use Final Cut. So it just depends on your preference. And before I end this video, I just want to say, do you really need all this stuff to make a video, to make a channel? No. The only 3 things you need to make a video is a camera, a laptop, and editing software. And that's it. So you don't really need all this extra fancy stuff, but it would be nice to have it. You know what I'm saying? But I really do hope that this video did help you out and gave you the right information that you were looking for. So if you do start a YouTube channel after watching this video, and if you do become successful, don't forget about me. Remember me, you know, come back to this video, come back to me, shout me out. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for supporting. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more. And other than that, thank you guys so much for supporting me. Peace.